Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island All-Stars Season 2, Episode 21.
Listen, I say it for Grace. Omar, shut up.
Okay.
Okay, like, nobody was talking to you in the first place. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Y'all about to see you about Omar. I told y'all.
So Luca's running away while everyone continues to play.
That is true.
Then, who was it? Casey had a blow in the face of the most boring couple. He chose Curtis and Ekin.
Mm-hmm.
Grace is filling Tina in on why Luca is upset, just whispering to her as the game is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Omar tells him they really should stop talking about it. And then they tell him to shut up
Mm-hmm.
and that he's being disrespectful, that Tina asked Grace a question and she's not even talking to him. Truggs hugs the couple he thinks is in the friend zone, and he hugs Harriet and Ronnie. Harriet says everyone knows we're not in the friend zone, and Trugg asks, what zone are y'all in? And Ronnie says none of your business.
Okay.
Omar is annoyed, but he gets Snog, the Islander you would be with if you weren't with your partner, and he kisses Tina.
Okay.
Sammy gets which Islander do you think is the least trustworthy and why? She just chooses Curtis because he walked by.
Hey.
Curtis goes to check in on Luca. Luca didn't think it was really a bad kiss, but he did say he wouldn't do it, but he also didn't want to cop out during the game. And Curtis, at first he tells him, I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, I didn't know you told the girl you wouldn't kiss her.
Yeah.
But he tells him at the end of the day, it is just a game.
Yeah.
Luca knows that his actions put him in this situation, but he's not going to go back and forth with Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis acknowledges that he did give a truthful answer. Ronnie then raises his hand on a question for who has had a threesome, and Harriet was annoyed by that. She felt like you don't need to reveal that information. You kind of look like a pick-me, and he keeps telling her that I told you this. You already knew this.
It doesn't matter. Okay, sure.
Gabby thinks her partner would choose Grace if he wasn't in a couple with her. Elma wouldn't want to spend a day with anyone other than Sammy.
Okay.
Ronnie talks about how the threesome was a few years ago, and of course he told Harriet before.
Now, before we move any further, how do you feel about Omar getting in women's business at that?
I think Omar was just annoyed because there was like whispering and snickering and stuff going on like that during the game, and I think he was probably trying to pay attention to the game. You know what I'm saying? But he probably should have just got up and sat somewhere else, if anything, because you're not going to tell them to stop talking. If they want to talk, they can talk. So
the whole time you made a scene, because now I got to tell you shut up out loud. You know what I'm saying? Whole time I'm whispering and all these things about what Luca did to me and things of that nature, and now you mad at me and you got an attitude with me, and now you huffing and puffing, crossing your arms, talking about you don't want to play no more, give it to Tina. It's like no. Omar, if you just would have just mind your business, but I don't know, maybe it's a couple thing, maybe it's an Omar and Catherine thing. You know, Catherine is in everybody's business in every scene. So Omar, I think he felt some type of way because maybe Grace, you know, it's one thing to be told shut up, it's another thing to be told shut up by someone you potentially may still have feelings for.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So he was definitely in his feelings. But overall, I do feel like, Luca, this is the bed you made. You got to be a man and lie in it. You gave your word saying that you wasn't going to do something, and you did it. You could have just gave her a peck and things of that nature. Or
not do it at all because you said you wouldn't.
Now, listen, I ain't going to hold you. I don't know why Grace would suggest Catherine. You get what I'm saying? Usually in these type of games, the safe bet is to usually go for like the friend of the girl you with. So I would have thought the safe bet for him would have been Harriet, because it's like, oh, that's like a sis and things like that. But no, I don't understand why Luca went, but he went off of his word with Grace.
And someone did ask us a question along the lines of, do we think that by Grace saying Catherine, do we feel like that was kind of like a microaggression type of situation or whatever? And I don't know for sure, but I will lean on the side of she probably knows Luca has no attraction for Catherine, whatever reason that is. So
listen here.
So because she knows that, I think that's probably why she said Catherine.
And my thing is, hey, Grace, I'm not saying microaggression like Blair said, but you could have just said Harriet. You could have said anybody. We did see Luca say 3 weeks ago, I don't like any of you women. You get what I'm saying? So listen, Catherine is part of the any. So is it micro?
I don't know his reason
I don't know
for not liking her.
Happy Black History Month in America. You get what I'm saying? Like,
so Harriet and Ronnie talk. They think Chuck's comment about being boring was laughable.
Okay.
Sammy didn't answer the question correctly in their eyes about being the least compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Harriet thinks he shouldn't have embarrassed his couple by admitting to the threesome, and she feels that everyone is out to get them. I think that Harriet is a little bit too paranoid and defensive.
And also, Harriet, are you in or out?
Yeah.
Are you in and out? Don't tell me how to answer. Don't tell me how to answer if we ain't closed off. I want to be closed off. You still want to be kind of open. If you feel like I embarrass you and things of that nature, if you feel like I'm a pick me or like a show off, then be with somebody else.
Yeah.
Go talk to Chucks.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So Grace and Tina are talking, and Grace is still just venting about Luca. Yeah. Don't ask me who you think that you shouldn't pick, and then just ignore me and go do what you're going to do anyway.
That's fair.
Omar is upset because he doesn't like being told to shut up. And Luca says, "How you think that I felt?" Okay. It's like, okay.
Listen here, Luca's comedy, man. Mm-hmm. Luca's comedy.
And Grace just feels like Luca is a drama queen. So he ends up walking over. He pulls Grace for a chat. Mm-hmm. He apologizes for his actions or the fact that they went against what he said he would do. Yep. And Grace asks him, so why would you even ask me if that's what you wanted to do? That's right. Like, if you're going to do what you're going to do, just do it. But don't ask me beforehand and then ask me after you do it if I'm okay. That's Sammy, fair. She feels like, is finding any leeway to get in between them. And Luca said that he's going to talk to her. And Grace said to talk to her then. And she walks away. Luca then lays down on the couch.
Listen here. Her foot is on Luca's neck the whole time. And guess what? I got nothing to add. She is 100% right. Listen, I'd rather you kiss the girl and apologize than agree that you're not going to do it and then like do it anyway. It's just weird. You know, you're better off just kissing the girl and just be like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Grace fills the girls in on what happened. Sammy ends up walking by, but she clarifies that this is not Sammy's fault. Mm-hmm. Sammy is downstairs talking to some of the people who are still downstairs and says that she only had one chat with Luca and the girls are going off.
That's true.
Tina and Elma are telling her, just know that it's not your fault. Nobody blames you. Mm-hmm. Luca says to Grace that you didn't even let me tell you why I said I wanted to talk to Sammy. I wanted to talk to Sammy to let her know that there's nothing between us. And Grace says, you know where she is? What do you want me to say? Like, you want me to hold your hand and walk you over there? Okay, let's go.
Oh, no. No, Luca.
So
you're making it worse.
Everyone clears out. Somebody grabs Ronnie. He was
Catherine.
He was Luca's backup.
It was Catherine. Catherine told Ronnie, let's go. No, Catherine, you go. I'm here to eavesdrop, to take back to the guys.
Luca says that he made a mistake and Grace wouldn't have made that mistake with him. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts before Luca goes to grab Sammy?
Oh, boy. I think she's starting to see the boys is still on the island.
That is exactly. I was like, Grace is going to be so turned off by Luca because he is not going to handle the situation like a grown up, and he's not. Mm. Why are you running behind me telling me what you're going to do? Like Grace said, you know where she's at.
Get the boys off the island. Listen here, that mantra been true for at least 2 years now.
That's why I like Grace. I like Grace a lot.
Grace definitely went up in my chart after this episode. She was hilarious.
And she was standing on business.
Look, I ain't gonna hold you. Luca went up in my chart too because Luca's funny. This version of Luca's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So Luca goes to grab Sammy since he got his permission from his mom.
He did.
He tells her that he has something good with Grace, and for him, it's just Grace right now. Mm-hmm. Sammy asks him, are you telling me that because Grace told you to say that? And he says no. Sammy tells us in the confessional that the vibe was kind of like a parent telling a kid to clean his room. So that's why she asked him that question. But if that's how he felt, she doesn't see why he didn't just say that during their first and only conversation.
And this is how you lose 2 women. like whole time. This is how you lose 2 women. Keep going.
Yeah. Grace tells Luca that you knew that would hurt my feelings and you would be hurt if I did the same thing.
That's true.
Luca says that he's trying to reassure her. He gets that he went wrong. And Grace tells him that he needs to grow up. You're not a child and treat people how you would want to be treated.
Oh my gosh. Listen here. Grace.
And y'all thought I was hard on Luca.
That is true. I did thought you was hard on Luca. I did thought.
Grace is living the experience.
She has 2 feet on his neck.
Exactly.
She had both her feet on his neck. She told him that to grow up, you're not a child. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, Luca, just go to bed now. It's bedtime now. You know, reset.
Yes. So Grace tells Sammy that she knows how sensitive Luca is, and he would definitely be upset if she were to do that to him. Casey says, all right, y'all, spin the bottle same time tomorrow.
Listen, Casey always go break the tension.
Harriet and Ronnie exchange I love yous. And when the lights are off, Grace is talking to Luca saying this conversation keeps going in circles. What do you want me to do? Kiss and cuddle you? Luca doesn't like or want to be in these situations. And Grace tells him, you put yourself in this situation. You could have kissed anyone else and she would have been cool with it. Then she turns her back and goes to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, do you want me to, I'm not about to baby you right now.
What? Now what do I supposed to do? Now I'm up and she sleep. Grace. I'm sorry. Luca. Entertaining, but listen here. You're about to lose both girls. And you have to understand, Luca, we saw you cry when you exposed Scott. Your feelings wasn't even hurt. It was just the idea of that you broke bro's code and then you started crying because you was sorry.
That's the stuff that I be talking about. Sorry on multiple levels.
You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is you're very sensitive, and Grace bring up a good point. If I would have did it to you, we would have had to go get you from the day beds all day and things like that. Come on, come inside and like at least eat, Luca. No, I'm not gonna eat. So that's what I agree with Grace. Like if I would have did this to you, you would have been a total crash out.
Yeah. So only thing I will say, because since we're the channel who gives people bail to get out of jail,
give them bail to get out of jail.
Luca did everything that he could think of to rectify the situation.
Nah.
I feel like he went to Sammy and he basically said he was closed off, even though he may or may not be.
Yeah.
But he's trying to give Grace the reassurance that his head is not turning.
Yeah.
So that's the only little bit I'll give him. He's doing it very childlike and a little kind of cowardly. He's not very bold about how he's doing things, but he's trying to rectify the situation. He even brought the girl avocado toast the next day.
Yeah. Look. My thing is this. You're right, but that's just enough to put it on his books. That's not to get him out of jail, right?
Okay, I miscalculated.
Yeah, because my thing is this, and this is the reality of relationships. There's certain actions that your partner may do that cannot be rectified. You have to live through the term punishment or like whatever it is, lifetime, permanent. Like there's certain things that can be rectified and certain things of, hey, don't do this because there's no route to rectify this. So I'd rather you just don't do it or I don't do this because it's going to be hard if there's any route to come back from that. Right. And that's just the reality of humans and the human experience of dating. It's like, yeah, don't do that to me because I can forgive this, but I can't forgive that. Right. So let's just not go down that road.
So Ekin asked Sammy, how she felt about the challenge. And Sammy said, he messaged her before. She was surprised he didn't cop out during the challenge. Yeah. But things got pretty heated. And he deaded things off with her.
Okay. Gabby
said that, he apparently kissed you for a reason and wanted you to know that there was interest. So the more times so the reason why he's not spending time with you is because the more time he spends with you, he's probably going to end up fancying you more.
Yeah.
I'm like, these girls is kind of like two-faced a little bit. No, are you Grace's friend or not?
They're not girls. I even saw a video with Cass. Yeah, was it today or was it someday where she was spilling the tea about Luca and Sammy, basically saying like everybody knows that like Luca and Sammy, that's Luca's girl, basically the type of girl that he fancy, the type of girl he really likes. So listen, that is typical boy behavior though. Like that girl you like that you kind of avoid. Like he's acting like a boy, but it's entertaining to watch.
So Ekin
take your time.
Says that he has changed since Sammy walked in.
Okay.
Now Grace and Luca are talking. She's eating her avocado toast. Luca apologizes to her again, and he asks, "What does she want to do today?" Grace is going to have a girls' day, so not be around you. That's what I'm going to do it today.
Truth be told, I was like, "What can y'all do? Y'all like on like set?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Danielle and Chugs have a talk. She is interested in him and he's feeling it as well. He asks if she's a kiss on the first date kind of girl, and Danielle says, well, it depends on how much wine I drink, but really depends on my connection with that person. But she feels like he needs to get creative as far as like creating a first date for them and just grafting a little bit more. She wants to see him work. So I'm cool with that.
Listen here, don't let Danielle sneak up on y'all. She might end up being your favorite girl because she's not part of the Ekin peanut gallery and things of that nature. And truth be told, she just comes off as easygoing.
Yeah,
you get
she
what I'm
really
saying?
seems like a cool girl.
Like the girl next door type of joint. And somebody said in the comments, which I'm now seeing, that like Curtis would have never liked a girl like Danielle because she's too calm, she's too cool, she's not
he
flashy.
likes the drama of it all.
You saw how he came out doing the heart rate thing. He came out with his little head thing and he was scaring the girls, basically like dancing. And so like Curtis is a flashy guy.
That's
you get
why
what I'm saying?
all their heart rates were
Yes,
they were
they were
terrified.
scared. You know what I mean? But if I was on the challenge, I'd do the same thing too. I come out there with a bat, a knife, something. Get up! You know what I mean? They're like, what's going on? Chris, you want the heart rate challenge? Thank you. I appreciate it. No, but I also want to use this time to bash Tina. Sorry.
Okay, let's do it.
Tina, what are you here for?
She's on vacation. She took Naz's spot.
Like I called you bland from the first time I saw you. A guy came in, right, Chubbs, and you let Danielle, who was here shorter than you, get this man. Not only get this man, you didn't make no effort to talk to him or even put yourself on screen time to where the audience remembered to even vote for you. I don't even think they remember you was on the ballot. You get what I'm saying? I think they think you left with Scott.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Listen here. Casey is with Gabby. You're not with Gabby. Stop using your time to chill with your friends and things of that nature. Gabby is safe. She got somebody.
Yeah.
Listen here. Last year, I said get the boys off the island. Get the little girls off the island too. Tina, it's time to work. This ain't vacation.
So Ekin leaves Sammy and Luca sunbathing.
Yeah.
Luca asks how Sammy's doing. She's good. She asks him how he's feeling, and he tells her it's just all really messy.
Yeah.
Sammy isn't trying to get involved, but thanks to him, she is. Curtis thinks that Luca would have gone for Sammy if she came in first, and Ekin feels like it's not fair that Grace is kind of making him be closed off. There's a reason that he snogged Sammy. Sammy asks if she came in earlier, like 3 weeks earlier, would anything have changed? And Luca doesn't really know, but there was no one in here before, but things have changed because Grace is here and she's here for him.
Listen, I can't say he's lying. He told the girls, I don't like any of y'all. I don't fancy any of y'all.
Yeah.
And when Grace came in, that's when all the guys were like, oh, look, your girl. Somebody came in for you. So his story checks out.
Yeah. And I don't feel like he was being messy
No, I
or
don't
leading
think so.
her on. I think he was trying to be polite, you know, and just trying to be cool. So Luca knows that Ekin left him and Sammy alone on purpose. Even when other people were trying to sunbathe, Ekin kept yelling at people to leave them alone. Just got her big spoon out every episode.
Ekin's like,
stirring the pot.
Ekin's like, y'all are, but I don't blame Ekin in this scene though.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, y'all know what Love Island is. And Ekin's like, do y'all understand what this is? Like, if we don't do it, they're not going to shoot together.
Yeah.
This is the scene that everybody wants to see. You get what I'm
Producer
saying?
Ekin.
Exactly.
He wouldn't have done that to Ekin and Curtis. So, you know, he's thinking, what if Grace were to come down and see us sunbathing by ourselves? Like, what issues could that have brought up?
And that's what Ekin was mad about. She was like, Grace, come downstairs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So Tina and Chugs has a talk. Tina doesn't really have a type, but he likes how energetic she is. Both Tina and Danielle are Chugs' top two. He just has to see who he has a stronger connection with.
He called you energetic.
Yeah, I like Danielle with Chugs better. I feel like there's an actual like chemistry, romantic, friendship kind of vibe. With Tina, it's just kind of like a, like, you know how you do icebreakers at work or at school or something like that?
That is nicer than what I was going to say.
I'm like, okay, and what's your favorite color? And where did you travel for vacation last year? It's just very just blah.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and that's how I felt about Tina from day one.
Okay. I said their connection, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Luca and Grace talk. Luca tells Grace how Ekin left him and Sammy alone.
Yeah.
Grace doesn't see why Sammy is still fishing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's asking irrelevant questions, talking about if I was here 3 weeks earlier. You was not.
No.
Luca says that he knows those questions would have came up if they were left alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he didn't want to be left with her. But he got up and walked away, and Grace appreciates his honesty.
Mommy, are you proud of me, mommy? You proud of me, mommy? Look what I did, mommy.
Yeah. I thought Grace handled that well, but let me flip my argument on its head. Okay. So if I'm thinking about it, right, and we're talking about Love Island, and if there is a possibility of a connection and Luca taking some time to get to know Sammy, then for the sake of the show, I think he should do it.
Yeah.
However,
but
he shot himself in the foot by telling Grace that he wouldn't kiss her, that he wasn't interested in getting to know her, and making all these false promises to Grace to make her feel more secure, when he could have just talked to the girl and been honest about Grace, about his feelings along the way. And I really think that Grace is a level-headed enough person to where she would have took that in and, you know, been cool with it, maybe not like happy about it, but she would have allowed the process to kind of air itself out.
Yeah.
But Luca's making things 10 times harder for himself.
Yeah. So. I listen here. The damage is already done, right? I'm going to be with you in this villa, but on the outside, when you are amongst pressure, real life pressure, besides this villa pressure, you fold it. And that's what it come down to. I think she's being nice because at the end of the day, like, you know, she only had eyes for Luca and things of that nature. But like, I'm thinking outside the villa, and outside the villa, I just don't think that he can measure up, because if this was a real life situation, now it's like, okay, you agreed that you was gonna do something and you didn't do it,
right?
And that has more consequences than like, we still got to get in the same bed tonight. We still got to film the next day. Like, stuff like that, people cut you off. You get what I'm saying? So I do agree with your point, and Grace's point, actually.
Yeah. So it's nighttime. Sammy and Chugs, it's time for them to couple up. However, it was the public's choice of who they will be coupled up with.
Of course.
So Chugs is coupled up with Danielle.
So y'all don't like Tina, huh?
And Sammy was coupled up with Luca.
It was only one choice.
Sammy walks away immediately. Grace is kissing Luca, saying that she's going to miss him in bed. Sammy is crying. Elma and Catherine are telling her that it was out of her control.
Yeah.
And Grace just doesn't get why the public would put Luca with her.
What?
Grace says that she gets effed over every time. She ends up crying. And Harriet tells her that everyone sees their connection. And it's not like he's Joey to where he's just going to entertain other girls just to entertain them.
How do we know that?
Yeah.
Like, literally, how do we know that? Just because he said sorry doesn't mean that, like, that's it. You get what I'm saying? Sammy, let me talk to you for a second. They warned me about you, and I'm starting to see a little bit of it. You tried to make this whole Luca and Grace thing about you.
Yeah.
And it was never about you. Don't learn from Elma, or don't be Elma 2.0 to where why are you crying? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not about you. It's not your fault. It's the UK fault. It's not even our fault. You get what I'm saying? Because I didn't vote, you know? So they chose Luca because Luca, I don't think that Luca, when it comes to him personally, it's personal towards Grace. Right. You get what I'm saying? I think it has everything to do with the other options. It's like Ronnie, no, because I don't think a lot of people like Ronnie like that. Casey, no. Curtis, no. We already seen that type of drama. The minute that it came out that you was in her DMs, you was already gonna be paired with her. It just is what it is.
Yeah. My only thing is, like, I feel like these were good pairings, actually.
Me too.
And I'm interested to see how Luca and Grace go past today and how they navigate things. But I want Luca to be a little bit more honest about where he truly stands, so that he can have a authentic experience to himself. Like, don't just tell Grace what she wants to hear because you don't want to be in trouble with Grace.
That's facts.
I think Grace would appreciate your honesty instead of this back and forth stuff. So
yeah, that's it.
That's all.
The only way this episode could have been better is if that phone would have rung while she was kissing Luca goodbye.
Yeah.
And if that phone text message would have came Tina and Grace, pack your bags. Y'all are without a couple. Chef kiss
would
episode.
have been wild.
It would have been great. It would have shook up the villa.
Yeah.
And then Luca would have been crying.
Yeah.
And then that would have been amazing to see.
And he probably would have lost Sammy because she would have been turned off.
Yes. So it's like, come on, producers.
Yeah.
Get us to produce next season.
That's it.
And fly us out to UK. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.